address the root causes that allow an al-Shabaab to exist in the first place?
Well, my dear friend, the way, I have said, you're talking about yesterday. We are not talking about today. Today, Somalia, the main discussion going on is post-al-Shabaab.
Well, before we get to post-al-Shabaab, they're actively recruiting now, though. But I want to make sure, because my concern is that we'll be fighting a forever war.
No, just a minute. When we said a total war, we have new approaches introduced now against the war al-Shabaab. And we are showing all the indicators that we are succeeding. And Shabaab is going to end. Why Shabaab existed first time in the history? That's a long history. That's a state failure. That was Shabaab everywhere, all over the world, wherever you see there is a terrorist group flourishes. That's where the state is not existing or is weak or fragile, whatever you say. Somalia want a time where there was no state at all. That it was a breeding ground for these people. They call it over the world and they started there. Yes, there are people who are just...
I want to push you on that, Mr. President. How do we know that that's not the case now?
The root you said is there are people who are in the terrorist group for ideological reason. There are people there for economic reason. There are people there for having grievances, other grievances, social clan systems and all this.
Absolutely.
There are these groups to get together, but the core group is the ideological group that has make all this work together. Somalia now is in a position that we have you cannot have a reconciliation without functioning state institutions. We're starting now to have the functioning institutions. Somalia is in agreement with politically. We have the platform to make the political reconciliation. And this is going on right now. It is
I don't doubt that you've laid this platform out, and you've been very articulate about what the platform is, particularly at the ideological and the economic levels. Might it not be an overstatement, though, to say that you're winning the war? They still control 20% of the country. They're still actively recruiting. I understand your plan may be successful ultimately, but at this moment...
They are not actively recruiting now. And you said that to control 20% of the country. They were controlling 80% of the country. Today, you know, Shabaab cannot move freely in everywhere. We cut all the lines that they were supplying among them. And
so what areas do they no longer control?
Four states we have 5 states, and Somaliland, leave Somaliland. 4 states of the current Federal Republic of Somalia was 80% controlled by Al-Shabaab. Now they are almost 2 states are almost going to be free from Al-Shabaab in weeks' time. The other 2 states are serious preparations which will go on. So this is the reality today in the ground. 2 major federal member states are going to be free from Al-Shabaab in weeks' time.
Okay. Let's talk about the past decade. Your government and international partners have funded clan militias in the fight against al-Shabaab to get to that post-Shabaab world you're talking about. But there are multiple reports of the groups instead killing, raping, torturing civilians in their own communities and beyond these clan militias.
I don't have those reports. I'm the president and I don't have it.
I hope that you get these reports, which are readily available. How do you hold them accountable? First of all, how do you explain that?
My friend, 2021, I was not in charge of Somalia. I would have liked you to ask me what I am responsible. I am in charge of it. Mistakes happen in the past, and every Shabaab attack, everywhere they are, either they have the military uniform or the police uniform, and these are available in the market. So I would have liked you, let us discuss the Somalia of today.
All right. Well, in the Somalia of today, how will you hold those clan militias accountable for what they've been doing consistently for the last 10 years? And there seems to be no evidence that they've stopped.
No, it's all about how you approach the clan militias and where they operate and how they operate.
So how do you approach them?
This is the clan militia. They are operating in their own clan territory. And the clan militias, they don't rape their own people. When there is a clan fight,
the reports are that they are. No. The reports are that they're doing they're working in their own communities and beyond.
And that's not true. I deny that. And I would have liked further proofs to come up.
You've talked a lot about the post-al-Shabaab Somalia. What's your vision for the country?
This is the one you've been talking recently. Democratic Somalia that upholds all the democratic principles that are applicable to our country and our society and our faith. And the Somalia that is free from violence is the Somalia that serves self-sufficiency in many aspects. Democratic Somalia, which upholds the constitutionality. Yes, still we are in the building of that society, but that's the vision.
Mr. President, thank you so much for joining me on Upfront.
Thank you.